Hi guys, Luke from Tigers blah 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 here on behalf of both of us, me and Rich Walker, who's my co-host. Obviously we're enjoying a little bit of time off for the podcast at the minute, but there are a couple of things that we never got round to publishing. Episodes, things like that, and other cut-offs that never really made it. One of those, the first one you're going to hear today, as an extra bonus segment episode, was right from the beginning of lockdown when we first had Bobby Haggraft on. We discussed best players and we released that episode. We also discussed top flops with Bobby, and we never published that, so we are going to do so. This is the first extra episode that will be available for download. Keep your eyes peeled over the next few days and weeks. There's some exciting opportunities coming with the podcast. That will be announced very shortly. And we may have a new recording to bring you in a couple of weeks' time also. Again, check the social media for more on that, which is @TigersBlah on Twitter. That's the best place to get it. Our Linktree account is the best place to look for all of the downloads where you may not have already got the links to. We're still Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Castbox, every other normal podcast distributor it should be available there. If you're struggling, just copy the RSS feed from one of the links on Linktree and then paste it into your normal podcast provider, and it should come up there. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope everybody is getting used to the idea of being in League One next year. We still await for news from the club, so I'm sure when me and Rich do get together again, we'll be talking more about that and the lack of messages from the club as well. So for now, enjoy the short episode that we've got as a bonus for you. Take care. Okay, so we're all sorted. So, welcome back. We're now going to do our top flops. We've limited it to 3, even though people on Twitter have given me about 10 each time they've done that. Rich and I were just talking before we started recording, and we kind of basically both said, look, they're typical of City fans. They don't really put that much for the positive players, but they can't wait to slate anybody they thought was a flop.
Yeah.
It's pretty typical with City, really, isn't it?
I've had double the response for the worst players, which I think is fantastic. I love that.
It's just gallows humour, isn't it?
It's so City.
It is, isn't it? Okay, so number 3 in your flops list, Bobby, if you give us that first, please. This will be interesting.
Well, I wasn't short of options, but I've gone for Tom. I've gone for Tom Ince. Ooh. Because at the time I was really excited to have him here. And, he was linked to Inter Milan and Monaco. And I was like, oh, you know what? This is going to be one hell of a signing. But he was just so disappointing. It never worked out here. And it felt like we were kind of privileged to have him because of Bruce's connections with Paulins. Mm. But it's just gone sour even now. Like, we played, when we played Stoke, when we just, like our last game when we lost 5-1, I know we conceded to Clucas and Powell, but oh God, I was happy not to Tom Ince.
Brilliant, yeah. We may have been shit, but at least Tom Ince didn't score.
I love that.
Yeah, that's another level.
That was, I mean, I would actually, Tom Ince is in my top 3 as well. So great minds on that, I think. But and I'll speak more about that later on. But Tom Ince played, when I looked at it, 7 appearances, no goals, no assists. And underneath, on my notes, I've just put, never looked interested.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of sums him up, to be honest.
Yeah.
The thing about, him going to Inter and stuff, I mean, it was confirmed in the press, I think, that Inter Milan had actually offered him a contract. And I also read about, I think Monaco were interested. And that was, he never capitalised or really showed any of the promise that he apparently had. It just all a bit Emperor's New Clothes for me. I don't know about you, either of you, to be honest.
I struggle to have an opinion on him, to be fair. He played so few games, and he just, it seems like one of those where, like when you used to play Sunday League or something, and the number 9's dad was always the manager and they were always the best player and blah, blah, blah. That's how it feels with Tom Ince. It's like Paul does more for his career than Tom does on the pitch.
I think he overhyped him. He did that thing, didn't he? Paul Ince was always in the media talking about, "Oh, my lad's too good for Blackpool," and all that. I think he was kind of to blame for a lot of that overhyping, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
So, good choice there, Bobby, like that. And then number 2 on your top flops, what we got?
So my next choice was, to be honest, quite painful to watch when he did play. Liam Ridgewell.
Yeah.
Forgot about him.
Well,
how could you forget?
Again, I was excited. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
How could anyone forget Liam Ridgewell? He was so good for us.
I think I just blocked him out of my mind, to be honest, mate.
He just had so much experience at this level because he was with Villa, Birmingham, West Brom. So when he came, I thought, he's going to be a great kind of leader in the squad. But it just shows the level of quality between the Championship and the MLS. He was just not prepared at all.
See again, Adama Diomande and his goal return in the Championship and in
it's
MLS.
Unreal in the MLS. He's scored about 4 or 5 hat-tricks since he's been at LAFC as Diomande.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because he went away, didn't he? He went to Portland Timbers and then came back, and we thought, oh yeah, and then it was, oh no. I think that was pretty much it, to be honest. Have you got a worst memory of your number 2 in your flops, then, Bobby?
Not a particular memory. It was just every time he was in the squad, to be honest. I just didn't think he was up for it at all. And he's announced his retirement now after a short spell at Southend, and doesn't that just say it all?
One game for Southend he's played. One game.
Wow.
He's so slow. I don't think I've ever seen.
It's the pace, isn't it? It was just.
I think my nan could have done a better job, to be honest.
He was like a fat man running through treacle.
That's harsh on fat men.
It is, isn't it? Really? Sorry to any of the bigger listeners.
I hope he doesn't listen to this.
He knows himself. Come on, he'll know.
I think he'll be doing all right for himself anyway, not to worry about what Tigers, blah, 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 have to say about him. Okay, so thank you for that. That's a good choice. And then, right, drum music, if we had any. Number 1 flop, Bobby. Who are we going with?
Ben Arthur.
He's made a lot of appearances on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he didn't put any effort in. I think Steve Bruce thought he could control him, but his attitude problem was just toxic, and he was toxic to have in the side. He reminds me a bit of Milinkovic, to be honest. Like Milinkovic was quite similar.
Yeah.
More recent, obviously, and obviously only started 2 games in 18 months with the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's Milinkovic, wasn't it?
That was Milinkovic.
He's been shipped out. Did he go to Vancouver or somewhere like that?
He did.
Yeah.
So I'd have driven him there myself, to be honest. He stunk the place out, didn't he? I think, but I understand the comparison with the attitude. I think it's just big time, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say Ben Arthur more though, just because I would have put Milinkovic as number 1, but because he didn't make enough of an impact. But Ben Arthur, it was embarrassing. I remember. Was it when we played Man United away at Old Trafford, and he was subbed off in the 35th minute?
Yeah.
It was just he wasn't putting any effort. He was strolling up and down the pitch. And...
I'm sure there were some of those running stats where the keeper had done more running than him.
Yeah.
Griggsy had done more.
Yeah, in his last game in the club, he covered less ground than Alan McGregor.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's just embarrassing. Ben Arthur is in my list as well, so I've got more to say on him later on. But
I can't wait for that.
Wait till this goes live. But yeah, no, I think they're excellent choices. Have you got any that were close to making the list, Bobby, that didn't quite make the top 3?
I was going to name one, but this is kind of a hindsight thing, but because he's actually done really well recently, and it obviously wouldn't be any list in anyone's list now. But Kevin Stewart, if you'd asked me this time last year, would have been in my flops list. Just because of the nature of the Robertson deal.
Yeah.
I understand that.
After some of his efforts this season, though, I take that back.
Wasn't there a good story that you had, Rich, about you and your brother on the train on the way back from the game where he'd scored?
Yeah, we were back from Luton, and we got moved into first class because the train was full, and Stewart had scored 2 that day, hadn't he? I think. Had he two? I can't remember. It was a good day anyway. But Rob got hold of him in the first class carriage and was like patting him on the shoulders, like, best left foot in the league. And Stuart was with his wife and his kid, and he was just like, what's going on? Just leave me alone now.
Who are these oiks in first class?
Yeah. With the 5 guys and the sweaty shirts.
Best left foot in the league. I remember you telling me about that. That was great.
And then he goes, I don't even know if he scored with his left foot.
Great stuff. Right, so that's our top flops done. I'd like to thank Bobby for being our first ever guest.
Not a problem.
Cheers,
great
Bobby.
Stuff. And I'm sure we may have you on again if we make it into a second season, if we've got that much material to spin out.
Oh yeah, you've got to. I'll be rooting for you.
Thanks very much.
Once we start playing some games again, that'd be a good thing to do.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We're all struggling at the minute, aren't we, without City? But hopefully this can fill the void until the season does make a return.
I'm even thinking about buying FIFA again on that.
Oh, mate. Look, you haven't done that for years.
I know.
Great stuff. Right. Thanks, Bobby. We will talk to you soon, I'm sure.